shouldn't do that.
Yeah, they're still not coming. I'll turn it off.
Test 1, 2.
Good morning, everybody. And it is a beautiful morning. Color Guard, are you ready? Please advance the proud colors of this great country. Color Guard. Hands, salute. Post colors. 2. We will now have a scripture reading by the County of Fish, City of Van Patten. Citizen number 226, Zach Danhauser. Uncover.
Hear, my children, the instruction of a father, and give attention to know understanding. For I give you doctrine. Do not forsake my law. When I was my father's son, tender and the only one in the sight of my mother, he also taught me and said to me, let your heart retain my words. Keep my commands and live. Get wisdom, get understanding. Do not forget, nor turn away from the words of my mouth. Do not forsake her, and she will preserve you. Love her, and she will keep you. Wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, get wisdom. And in all you're getting, get understanding. Exalt her, and she will promote you. She will bring you honor when you embrace her. She will place on your head an ornament of grace. A crown of glory she will deliver to you.
At this time, we're going to have the Pledge of Allegiance by the County of Spafford, the City of Colmer, Citizens number 596, Matthew Donahue. Matt.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Conductor, please, our national anthem. I want to hear you all. Raise the roof. Very good, gentlemen, but I think we're going to be louder as toward the end of the week. It's time for the Boys State Alma Mater. It's on the back of your book, and again, put your heart in it. All right. That was a little louder than yesterday, but we got a long ways to go on this one. We're going to raise this roof. It's the last thing we do, okay? Put your heart in it. Let's try it again. One more time. Maestro. Maestro, one more time. All right, all right, all right. You guys are almost pros at it. Pamela Hunter serves as the Assemblywoman representing the New York State Assembly's 128th District and currently serves as Speaker and Pro Temp, presiding over the legislative session proceedings. The district includes portions of Syracuse, Salina, Detroit, Onondaga, and Onondaga Nation. Ms. Hunter is the only female veteran in the state legislature. And from what I understand, she's also a Legionnaire. She serves on the following committees in Assembly: the Veterans Affairs, Female Veterans Subcommittee Chair, Insurance, and Ways and Means. Nationally, Ms. Hunter serves as the President of the National Council of Insurance Legislators. Citizens of Boise State, let's give a big welcome to the Honorable Pamela Hunter, Assemblywoman.
Hooah! Very nice, very nice. You all have brightened my day already. It's amazing to see so many young people involved in something so positive, and you volunteered to come here, and that's just amazing. It gives me hope to see that there are young people who are actively engaged in civic and community service. So congratulations to all of you, and thank you all for being here. I'm not going to take up too much time, but I just wanted to just mention a little bit about civics and public service. And so when I enrolled in the U.S. Army, I was 17 years old, so maybe younger or the same age as some of you here today. And when you stand there and you first get in and you raise your hand and you pledge to protect the Constitution, And that's not an insignificant thing. And I've had to do that again when I was elected to the city council and also to the state assembly. And it means something when you raise your hand, and we did today when we said the pledge, when you raise your hand and you say you will protect and defend the Constitution of the United States of America. And that's not an insignificant thing to say and to do. It means that I will put my life, my heart, my soul on the line to protect our values. And that's what you all are doing here today. So even though you might not raise your hand in service, and if some of you do, I think that's outstanding. The Army is the best branch of the service, by the way. But if you, I know you're not Marines. But if you don't raise your hand to join the service, that's okay. There are other ways for you to serve. It could be an elective service, whether you want to run for your school board, for your city council, or for the state assembly. And you all are working on important things like that this week. Choosing a governor, passing bills, looking to see what legislation looks like. And that's important. An informed citizenry is best for all of our communities, to be informed about what's going on in your community, to be informed about what's going on in the state and national, not to go down the rabbit's hole, but to get as much information to make informed, smart decisions. And you are the future. You are the future. You are going to be the next senators and congresspeople and presidents. You are going to be what we're going to be looking to for guidance. And so I ask you to be responsible and take it very seriously, your commitment as a great citizen in this collective that we live in here today. So I hope that you all have a great experience this week. You're already off to a great start. I can tell you, just watching you march and listening to you chant, my feet hurt all over again, my throat's a little sore, but I was making mention. I said, usually after all of this, I heard drop. And so I didn't see any of you doing that, but at some point outside, I'm sure push-ups happen here? Did they happen here? Okay, a few push-ups. I have to tell you, I did a lot of push-ups on the hot pavement in Fort Dix in New Jersey, and I can't tell you why I was doing those push-ups, but it made me a better soldier. So good luck to all of you here from wherever you came from across the state. You chose to be here, and I wish you the best of luck and congratulations. Hooah, thank you.
In appreciation for her attending our Boys Day program this morning and speaking, our certificate of appreciation from the Legion, and also present you with a Boys State shirt. They're going to want you to put it on. Thank you so much. You're welcome out here anytime. Even during the week, anytime you want to come up, you want to bring somebody, bring them. This time we're going to have a music interlude. You can stand up in your place. Don't wander off. Just stretch your feet. It's a brief music interlude. No, it's from the band. Maestro, go right ahead. three. I got three. I got two small mediums. New York State Senator Joseph A. Griffo of Rome represents Oneida, Madison, and parts of Shenango and Herkimer counties in the New York State Senate, a position he has held since 2007. He currently holds the title of Assistant Minority Leader and is a ranking member of the Senate's Higher Education Committee. He also serves on the Transportation, Rules, and Finance Committees. Griffo previously served as Deputy Majority Leader and as the Chairman of the Senate Energy and Telecommunications Committee and many other standing committees. He also previously held the title of Deputy Majority Whip and is co-chair of the New York State Legislative Sportsmen's Caucus. He served for 11 years as mayor of Rome starting in 1991. While county executive, Griffo was elected to the New York State Association of Counties Board of Directors and was a member in the New York State Law Enforcement Accreditation Council. Griffo is a graduate of both Rome Free Academy and SUNY Brockport, which is in my neck of the woods, where he earned a magna cum laude distinction while receiving a bachelor's degree in political science. Citizens of Boys, let's go. Wonderful, great round of welcome to New York State Senator Joseph A. Griffo.
Good morning. Can you hear me? I made it. I made it, huh? Can everybody hear me all right? All right. Is this on? Yes. Very good. I feel like Jerry Springer. Anybody remember Jerry Springer? Yeah. Maybe you'll be yelling Griffo when I leave, right? Like they used to do Jerry. So first of all, congratulations to each and every one of you. So what you have accomplished in your selection here is extraordinary. You, as you heard the Assemblywoman said, are our future. And that is not cliche, that is very serious, because all of you represent the best and the brightest, and you have great potential as you move forward. So just continue to imagine what you can achieve, believe in that, and ultimately you will get that done. That's one of the things that I am always impressed with. I take a look at the band. Let's hear it for the band, right? Put together just in the last 3 days. Isn't that amazing how you can come together and make this happen? So to all of you, congratulations. Thanks to the band again. And what an extraordinary week you have ahead of you here. I know you've been here a few days, but you're in the presence of some individuals who have not only served our country, but also continue to serve our communities. These are extraordinary individuals, so get to know the counselors. Get to know all these members of the American Legion. Listen to the stories they have to impart to you, because they are such an essential part of who we are as a country and a community. So let's give a big hand to all of these great people who dedicate their time to be here for all of you. How are the Marines treating you, all right? Let's hear it for the United States Marine Corps. Come on. So you heard that I am a graduate of SUNY Brockport, and I know President Rogers was here too from Morrisville. And you know what's going on at SUNY Brockport this same time you're here, right? Girls' Day, right? So in order to keep this, international relations are very important, right? As a country, we believe in getting along with all of our neighbors across the globe. So I'm very fortunate to have with me, couldn't be at Girls' Day, we're with you, but I want to introduce you to two very important people who are visiting me from Ireland, and they're here for the summer. So let me introduce you to Mary Kate and to Madison. Mary Kate and Madison. Yeah, they deserve a standing ovation. Come on. I think they're going to have a great summer here. So I am the senator from the 53rd District, which represents the counties you heard, Madison, Oneida, Shenango, and Herkimer, parts of Herkimer, parts of Shenango, all of Madison and Oneida. I represent about 350,000 people in my role in the Senate. Let's hear where some of you guys are from now. I know we have the names here, but how many of you here are from Long Island? I was going to say that was pretty weak. Long Island, you in the house? Yeah. All right. How about Western New York? You here? Yeah. How about the Southern Tier? That's it. Wow. How about the Hudson Valley? Yeah. How about the Big Apple? New York City in the house? Yeah. How about, let me see, what am I missing now? The Capital District. And then, of course, there's Central New York, Mohawk Valley. You here? So that's also a great opportunity for all of you to get to know one another, to make new friendships, and to carry that on as you move on. And there's probably the basic, if you look at our job in the state legislature, the Assemblywoman and I, we do a lot of things. One of the important things is constituent services, where we're there for you or your family. If there's a problem you're having with a state agency, or something that may be going on in the community, you contact us and we work through that. The other is we try to advocate for our communities, for the American Legion, for the schools in our community, for our colleges like Morrisville. And the third thing we do is probably what we're known best for, but it's just one of the things we do. Anybody know what they call us? There's a nickname for the third thing we do. Well, they call us a lot of things, right, in government, but anybody want to take a guess? What do we do? Because this affects you. Yeah, there it is, pass bills. So they call us lawmakers, right? Because we pass laws. Now, do these laws have an impact on you? They sure do. For instance, should there be a universal age of adulthood? Or should we just keep it the way it is right now? Universal? That's a great question, right? That's why I want to hear you, because your input is important. So let's remember this now, what the Assemblywoman said. First thing you need to do is get interested. The next thing you need to do is be informed. And then ultimately, as a result of that, you need to become involved, because the decisions we're making have an impact on your lives at your age. So, for instance, what age can you drive in New York? You know what it is in Florida? 14. It's 14 in Florida. Should we be 14 or 16? All right. How old can you be to get married in the state of New York? 18. Used to be 14 until a few years ago. It's 18 now. It's 18 now, right? All right. You know what you can do at 18 besides get married? Only on Indian nations, though. You can gamble at 18, but only on the Native American reservations. So if anybody's 18, go to the Turning Stone, all right? But, so you can gamble, you can join the military, right? And carry a firearm, right? So think about that now. You can join the military, you can get married, you can drive a car. What can't you do at 18? You can't drink. Is that crazy or is that good? Right. And guess who makes those laws? We do. The state legislature, because the drinking age is established by state. There is no national drinking age. Every state is 21 right now, because in 1980, President Reagan there was a lot of carnage on the roads back then, a lot of DWI accidents. So they thought the way to handle it was to raise the drinking age. And they couldn't do it at the federal level. Every state had to do it. So the way the federal government handled it was very much unlike Reagan at the time. Said if you want highway money to fix your highways, you're going to raise the drinking age. and everybody needed money, right? So then the state legislatures all raised them. Many college presidents right now are saying that needs to be lowered again. But what's the age that it should be? 19, 18? All right. Now, what have we legalized in New York over the last 3 years? Marijuana. Now, so we have a way to enforce the drinking laws, correct? With a breathalyzer and things of that nature. And I think all of you are much more responsible and know it would be very foolish to get behind a car and to be driving. But with marijuana now, how do we figure that out? Is there a way to enforce that? Right. You can't test it immediately because it can stay in your system. And there's nothing right now that can show that. So there's a lot of conversation and discussion as to what can we use as a device to ultimately hold somebody accountable, to make sure they're obeying the laws. What about e-cigarettes? Should they be, now cigarettes you can't buy them, right? No. But should we tell the stores where to put the cigarettes? Or should we let them make that decision? Right now we have a bill that we're considering that would take all the flavored e-cigarettes and put them in the back of a store because they don't trust. Is that good? That's good? What is one of the greatest threats, I think, to your generation right now when you are in a car, besides the drinking? How about this? How many of you guys have texted while you've been in a car driving? Be honest with me. Let me see some hands. Huh? Use Siri, huh? One of the greatest threats. So one of the greatest challenges and threats to your safety is this right here. You can wait. You hear that a lot, but seriously, there's no reason when you are behind a wheel that you should be distracted. And we need to do more about distracted driving. There will be more rules and there will be more consequences to this because too many innocent lives are being lost. So again, you're going to get informed, right, about this stuff, and then you're going to get more involved because you all have an opinion right now, right? So that's the key here. And there are ways to do that. You know how you can do that? You can register to vote at what age? Actually, you can pre-register at 16 and 17 right now. So it doesn't mean you can vote, but you can go out there and pre-register right now. We automatically register people when you get your driver's license, not at 16, but anybody above the age of 18 automatically gets registered to vote. Is that a good or bad thing? 17? 16, 17, pre-registered. So these are the issues that affect you, right? They all have an impact on your lives, and you all have an opinion, right? You're giving me your opinion. So think about how important it would be if you got involved, right? Now, you all in high school? You see what the governor did this year with the legislature to you? Bell to bell ban on this. Why? Do you need those things in school? Right, I agree with you. I voted. I voted against it. I voted against the ban because I believed each of your school districts, in getting your opinion as students, teachers' opinions, parents' opinions, are more important than the state of New York blanketly coming in and saying, you're not going to do something. What's the world that will be approaching us relative to artificial intelligence? Should we be using it more? How should we use it? Should this be protected? Should this be governed and monitored? What do you think? Right. So, well, think about that now, all of you, because this is the issue of the future, and the future's tomorrow. And I mean literally tomorrow, not tomorrow like 5 years from now. These are discussions that will be happening in Congress and in the state legislature as we continue to have deliberations during the rest of this year and next year. You're going to see things happening that could impose or restrict activity. How many of you have experience with drones and the use of drones, right? What do you think? Should we regulate them more? Should we allow more flexibility with them? Okay. So some people think crimes that don't affect you, like assault or murder, are not, they're victimless crimes, basically. Do you know an example of that? Like vice crimes, right? So you know what the state of New York is considering, right, legalizing right now? Prostitution. Good or bad idea? All right? I mean, there's a moral issue there, but then beyond that, I mean, who's the problem, right? It's two consenting adults involved in that. Is it a good or bad thing? And I'll leave you with this last one, and then hopefully we'll take some questions from you. We just passed a bill in Albany, is when you talk about life. And a bill came before us called Aid in Dying. So basically it's assisted suicide. And the state legislature passed it, both the Senate and the Assembly, and it now went to the governor. As you know, in order for a bill to become a law, it has to pass both houses of the legislature and go to the executive, in this case, governor. If it's national, it's the president. Good or bad idea? A lot of issues there, you know, and some of the concerns here are not so much the subject itself. That's why I tell you it's important to not only to get involved, but before you do that, be informed, right? You got to be interested in the subject, but then become informed, because that's an issue right now where you might have an opinion based on your personal experiences, based upon your faith, but in the end, there are very many nuances to the bill and how it's distributed. And so I voted against it, but I was because of the concerns within the bill. Not so much the concept, but it was the content. What was in it? How easy was it to get this pill? And what if the pill was put in a house and there was somebody else in the house and they took the pill? And when they took the pill, was it going to be an immediate effect, or could it last for days? And those are all the questions, and that's what I'm encouraging all of you to do. Remember, and it kind of goes right to what the Assemblywoman said. That's where I took this from. You know, you really need to be interested, because it has an effect on each and every one of your lives, as you could see. And then when you become more informed, so you understand everything, then you know when you get involved how you can change things to make it better. And it's not always going to be unilateral. You guys are going to disagree on things. But in the end, thanks to your action, when you look at these issues, these contemporary issues, they are going to make a difference in your lives and the lives of our community and our country. So remember that. Hopefully you all get involved, right, after you've been informed, and you stay interested, all right? Congratulations. God bless you. How'd I do, all right? Still awake? You got the floor. All right. I guess I'll take some questions if you have questions, anybody. I thought I'd hear more noise. Come on. Come right up to the mics, I guess. Just tell me where you're from. Hello? Give me your real area from the state of New York. Say I'm from the Capital District, or I'm from Buffalo.
I'm Andrew. I am a local of the Oneida, Madison County.
All right, local.
My school district is VVS. And we're running into a problem right now, and I wish that maybe you could give some advice. Our school is running out of funding for extracurriculars and summer activities that a lot of low-income households depend on. But the issue is, given our location, even though we are in close proximity to the Turning Stone Casino, Because it's on the Indian reservation, they bring in millions of dollars of profit and income, and they never get taxed, and none of that money goes towards the school district. What would you say would be a best course of action to look into seeing if some of that revenue can be brought back to the local school district?
So, good question. The problem there is first you have to recognize and understand sovereignty. So Indian nations are sovereign territory. That's across our entire country. If you look historically, how this evolved based on treaties, things of that nature. So they are not required in any way to pay taxes based upon these the former treaties through the Department of the Interior, the U.S. Department of the Interior, and the Bureau of Indian Affairs. So you're not going to get taxes out of nations. In that particular instance, in Verona, what you had in the past is some negotiation discussion where the Oneidas have contributed to the school district. Now, I'm not sure where you are now because there was a compact that was ratified by the state of New York, the federal government, and the local community, Oneida County, excuse me, several years ago. And some of those payments stopped as a result of that because they were all changed and the county got so much and the town and school district. I think the problem we're having right now is school aid, though. And how do we manage our school systems? And we each and every year have contributed more money to education than the year before. In this particular budget, unfortunately, in the end, the school numbers were lower than what the governor proposed. That never happens in the state of New York, in the state legislature. It happened because of statistics, but there's also a responsibility on the superintendent of schools to run the schools right and to direct that money. And we're seeing many school districts struggling now. So we got to take a look at everything. What's going on within the school district of VBS that's putting this pressure on them because they have had increased in aid over the years. But relative to what you're saying now, the only way you're going to see a direct contribution from Native Americans or enterprises like Turning Stone is through some type of benevolence that they want to, say, contribute to the community. And that would be a conversation the superintendent could have with the nation representative. But by law, they do not have to pay any taxes. Thank you. You got any Yankee fans in the house? Any Met fans? I hope we don't have any Red Sox fans here, do we? Wow. Wow, wow. Let me take a question from the right here, and then we'll come over to you. We okay right here, guys? Go ahead.
All right, good morning, sir. So my name is Anthony. I live on Long Island. So I've come to learn that kids who live in upstate New York, they're able to drive fully at 16, where on Long Island at 16 you could get a permit and then do driver's ed, and then have your junior license where you could just drive to work, not school. And then until you're 17, you can't drive. So I'm just wondering why there's that discrepancy where we're in the same state.
I'm unaware of that discrepancy, but I know there are restrictions on your permit when you receive your permit. For instance, you can't drive after a certain time of day, like I don't know if it's dusk or what it is right now. So there's some general restrictions that apply across the state. I'm not sure if there's been some local impositions that Nassau or Suffolk County have imposed. They can do that as long as they don't supersede the state. So they couldn't say that you couldn't get a license, but they could put an extra restriction on your license potentially. I am unaware of that, but I'll look into that. And that's Suffolk County or Nassau?
Suffolk and Nassau. We can only drive with our parents.
All right, well, we'll look at that. Alex, where's Alex? Are you in the house here? Alex Gerald's here from my staff, and he's going to remember that, and we'll look into that, all right?
Thank you, sir.
On the left side.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
My name is Jacob Hilton. I'm from the Hudson Valley area, and I was wondering your opinion about a possible age restriction on assisted suicide if that bill is to be passed in full.
Yeah, I mean, the bill has been passed, and now it's just waiting the governor's determination as to whether she'll sign it or veto it. If she vetoes it, they will not override her veto, even though the legislature has that ability. Because there wasn't enough votes to pass it to begin with. It was very close, the numbers in passage. I think it's the league. I think we were at 18 or 21, so it's at that point. And I think a lot of the arguments that were used for it was if you look at people suffering and what people have gone through with terminal illnesses, and it can happen to a young person too, unfortunately, should they have that opportunity and availability to end life on their own terms. So, but that's where it is right now. I don't know what the governor is going to do, though.
Thank you, sir.
To the right.
Hi, my name is Samuel Davis. I'm from Rochester. I just want to know how you got involved in politics at a young age, and did you go to Boys State?
I was never a Boys Stater, so that's why I admire and respect all of you and the people that put this on. But I'm a graduate of Rome Free Academy, and when I went to college, I studied political science. I had an interest in government service, and I had to make a determination as to what direction I would go. One of the things I would strongly urge and recommend is that you consider internships. I was fortunate to do an internship in the state legislature in Albany at the time. Came back and worked in local government, and then ultimately ran for the office of mayor in the city of Rome. And I was a very young mayor, the youngest mayor elected in Rome's history, and under a strong mayor form of government in the 90s. But it wasn't an easy thing, you know, to be able to sell yourself and to go out there. And campaigns are different today. You saw what happened in New York City just last week, where you have a 33-year-old that just won a Democrat nomination. And the way you use social media, things of that nature. So I think if you're interested, get involved in a candidate's campaign, look at political science as a course of study as you move forward, and you can get involved in a political party depending upon your choice, who you believe in and what you feel. And I think all of those things help to put you somewhere where you can enter government service, and you don't have to run for office all the time. You could do other things too. I mean, we got 2 ambassadors here. Look at that, right? So, okay.
Thank you.
We good? Anybody else? I wish you guys were the press. All right, well, thank you all once again. Appreciate that. Take care, all right? Have a great week here. I'm looking forward to see a lot of you in future success. Thank you.
All right, in appreciation for his attendance today at Boys State, his participation, and his involvement in government, please accept our certificate from Boys State. And I also have a special presentation for you.
Look at this.
All right, let's hear it. At this time, I'm going to call on our executive director for his presentation. Dave?
Good morning. You could do a little bit louder than that. Good morning. Good morning, sir. Thank you for waking me up. I'm old. I have to put my glasses on. This is called Tribute to an Icon. You could all hear me. Let me just. In the summer of 1938, the American Legion, Department of New York, introduced a pilot program Boys State program at the New York State Fairgrounds in Syracuse. It was well received, and the full program launched in 1939 and was attended by a young Nicholas F. Solis. Thus began the lifelong commitment between Nick Solis and the American Legion Boys State of New York. Nick's solid presence at Boys State was unwavering and constant, except for the time he served in the military during World War II as a volunteer in the Army Air Corps, where he served as a navigator bombardier, completing 34 missions and earning the Air Medal with 4 oak leaf clusters and a presidential citation. He was also absent during his pursuit of a college education. He obtained a bachelor's degree in Spanish language, civilization, and literature from St. John's University in Queens, and completed higher studies at the University of Havana, Cuba, and Niagara University, where he received his master's degree in Latin American history. Nick credited his military service and the GI Bill for his ability to pursue a higher education and ultimately earn a doctorate. Dr. Solis taught Latin American language and culture at St. John's University for several years and was awarded the status of Professor Emeritus. Sorry. To honor his 54 years of dedication to the American Legion Boys State of New York, he was given the status of Executive Director Emeritus in 1986. Dr. Solis was the Walter Cronkite of Boys State morning program, where he gave all present a daily update of current events with his views of same. Of course, given in his inevitable way with humorous side comments on the news and people in the news. Nicholas F. Solis was a great orator. His litany of the flag was a gem which brought tears to the hardiest of hearts and the bravest of the brave. Doc was not only a legend in his own time, but also an icon of the American Legion Boys State of New York program and everything it stands for. He even had Boys State as his automobile license plate. He lived for the program, and it was at the June 2006 program that he was stricken and God took him from us. God bless Dr. Nicholas F. Solis, Executive Director Emeritus, Mr. Boys State. The program will never be the same without his wit and words of wisdom.
The litany of the American flag. Betsy Ross stretched the flag across her lap as she sewed
Please
on the
stand.
stars of the 13 colonies. General Washington carried it in his boat as he crossed the Delaware. The colors waved majestically in dawn's early light as the smoke of the cannons cleared over Fort McHenry. Valiant Union soldiers unfurled the nation's colors in battle with their rebel kin. It flew over President Abraham Lincoln as he read the Gettysburg Address. General Custer's lead horsemen carried it in the Battle of Little Bighorn. Teddy Roosevelt charged up San Juan Hill with our glorious colors. Admiral Dewey sailed the American flag into Manila's harbor. It waved from the observation car of General Pershing's troop train of soldiers that chased Pancho Villa across the Rio Grande on the Mexican border. It flew from the troop ships as the doughboys and GIs climbed the gangplanks, accompanied by the strains of Over There and Yankee Doodle Dandy. The flag today flies over the graves of our martyred soldiers, buried in the poppy fields of Flanders. It flew over the dunes of the Sahara as American soldiers breathed sand through their nostrils. Old Glory was painted on the gliders that carried the screaming eagles to their parachute jump over Nijmegen and Arnhem. in Nazi-controlled Holland. Valiant American infantrymen scaled the rocky cliffs of the monastery walls of Monte Cassino with the American flag in hand. The flag was clearly evident on each of the landing barges that hit the Normandy beaches. The red of our colors matched the red blood of the snow of Bastogne in the Battle of the Bulge. And in spite of overwhelming odds, it was never surrendered to the enemy. The American flag replaced the swastika over Eagle's Nest by order of General Eisenhower. It was painted on the fuselage of Flying Fortresses, Liberators, Lightnings, Mustangs, Marauders, C-46s, C-47s that flew over the China, Burma, and India theater. The flag was emblazoned on the sides of General Patton's tanks and jeeps that crushed the Siegfried Line. Battle wagons and destroyers and PT boats flew it over the ocean's waves. Our glorious colors were raised on Mount Suribachi in Iwo Jima. General MacArthur called the flag back to the Philippines. As the smoke of battle cleared, the flag could be seen flying from the highest coconut palms of the small atolls of faraway islands. Seabees planted the flag on the earth movers that built airstrips and erected flagpoles to fly the flag of freedom. It was painted on the bombs of the B-29 superfortresses that were carried to the empire of the rising sun. The flag was present on the deck of the USS Missouri in Tokyo Harbor as General MacArthur accepted Japanese surrender. America's colors waved proudly over Pork Chop Hill, Incheon, Panmunjom, and still does. It flew over the rice paddies of Vietnam and the steaming jungles of Laos and Cambodia. The American flag was greeted by the residents of Lebanon, Grenada, and Panama. Our nation's colors flew over the American naval vessels in the Persian Gulf and the sands of Iraq in Desert Storm. In Operation Iraqi Freedom, our flag of victory flies over the castles of Saddam Hussein in Baghdad. Old Glory flies over sacred ground zero in silent tribute to the innocent lives lost in the destruction of the Twin Towers by international terrorists. The American flag has always welcomed the waves of immigrants that sailed past the Statue of Liberty to Ellis Island. The flag gracefully adorns the tomb of the unknown soldier in Arlington. It flies in every national veteran cemetery, and veterans place it on the graves of their fallen buddies. The flag reminds us of the sacrifices of our valiant youth in the theaters of war. Our colors fly every day of the year over the Capitol, the Washington Monument, the Lincoln Memorial, Grant's Tomb, and all public buildings and post offices. It waves over the Korean Memorial and the names on the Vietnam Wall in our nation's capital. The American flag was painted on the side of all rockets sent into space. It was very visible on the side of the Challenger and the spacecraft Columbia, whose crew of brave American astronauts gave their lives in the exploration of outer space. The flag flies over all public schools, and children carry it in parades with color guards. The flag flies over the capitals, governors' executive mansions, American foreign embassies through the world. Families proudly display the American flag in the front of their domiciles. The flag adorns the casket of our deceased veterans, and the widows accept it after the veteran receives his last salute. And when the flag is tattered and torn, our national icon, the symbol of freedom, the American way of life, it should be burned and converted into ashes. Consecration, not desecration. Lord, Lord, protect the American people. Protect the red, the white, and the blue.
glad everybody enjoyed that, because as I read off, he passed away in 2006. That was his last words that he said here on this stage. That was the year that he passed away.
When that happened, I happened to be with some of the senior counselors at the time at the hospital down in Hamilton. He was in the emergency department. It was around 7 o'clock at night, something like that. His last words, and I heard them, I was there. Tell the boys I love them. I'll see them in the morning. He died that morning at 11 o'clock. Thank you. Thank you. We're running tight on time here, folks. Joe, sports. Thank you.
Good morning, fellas. Boys State is important. Back a few years ago, quite a few years ago, I was a police officer, deputy sheriff for 46 and a half years. Boys Staters here made a law that went to Albany and saved many, many lives and injury. That law is click it or ticket. That came from the Boys State right here in Morrisville, okay? So, what you learned and what you do this week can mean a lot. For sports, softball, Fish in Roosevelt on field 1, Wong and Tolio on field 4, Pedro and Schinenberling on field 2. Please show up. There's a bat and 2 balls. I watched the game yesterday. I don't know how far that softball went, but it went high up and way out. You guys are doing a great job. Like I said, this is your week. We're here to help you enjoy it and have a good day. As far as pickleball goes, pickleball is in the Iceplex, and we're just letting you go in there 2 at a time, make up a team 4, and just play and have fun. Thank you very much for all you do.
Thank you, Joe. At this time, legislative information. Dean.
All right, last night, both parties got a party chairman and a staff, right? Yeah, okay, so you guys are going to be picking who's going to lead you, and I really want you to think about it. These people will represent you forever. You're the class of 2025, right? Yeah. So be serious about who you pick and pick people that are really going to represent you well. Okay, so the lobbyist, after this meeting, I want to meet you in the side room, okay? Remember, the referendums, we need to get them on for the ballot for tomorrow, okay?
So this afternoon, you will get together again. You'll get your 7 justices, the comptroller, and attorney general. Then tonight, again, you get your lieutenant governor, governor, and presentation from your platform committee and what your party's going to stand for. Tomorrow, all the winners will come down early before the assembly and get lined up to be introduced. But I wanted to speak about tomorrow. So tomorrow, you do the political rally and you do the voting. You're reminded, bring your phones with you tomorrow because you're going to use your phones for the voting. Okay, got that? All right. Now, every city has elected 3 senators and 5 assemblymen. All right? So to this point, you haven't done anything, but tomorrow you're going to get started with those. If you are one of the 3 senators from your city, please stand up. Okay? Five assemblymen stand up from East City. All right, so what's going to happen? You may sit down. Thank you. So what's going to happen tomorrow, okay? All of you that just stood up, the senators and the assembly, you'll come here at 2 o'clock. The new governor will do a speech to you about maybe something that he wants to push through with his legislation, okay? And then we will break up. The senators, we'll be meeting in Little Theater, and the assembly people will stay in the big building here, all right? And that'll go to 4 o'clock when the band starts rehearsal, and then we'll be out, all right? Then we convene again tomorrow evening. What I want you guys to be doing is talk to people in your cities about some legislation, because you're going to be writing bills, debating them, and we don't have an awful lot of time. So if you've got some ideas before you show up for these things, that would be appreciated. All right, thank you very much.
We've got some special announcements. There were 2 baseball mitts found. They're at headquarters along with a neck pillow. They can be claimed at the headquarters building. All city mayors, please stand and be recognized. All city mayors, please stand. All city mayors, please stay after the assembly for pictures. All city mayors will be gathering right here. Also, when we dismiss, those from McNeely County and those from Cocotec County will be leaving first. Counselors in charge of them, you guys will be leaving first. At this time, color guard. Color guard, please retrieve the colors of this great nation. Retrieve colors. And salute. Two, McNeely and Cocotec. Dismiss. Everyone else stand tight for a second. Those from Waterville and that, come on down to the stage. All citizens are now excused. Into overtime. Lunch starts at 11:15, doesn't it?
What time is lunch?
11:15, isn't it? Or is it 11:45?
I thought it was 11:45.
It is 11:45. You didn't do the